Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study the next topic, that is types of communication. So in the previous class we have studied the communication process, and the next topic that we are going to study is the types of communication. Okay, and the communication that take place in an organization can be divided into two categories, that is formal communication and informal communication. So there are we can divide the communication which is taking place in the organization. It is not about the normal communication, but we are speaking about the communication in the organization. So there are two types of communications are there, that is formal communication and informal communication. And in today's class we are going to study about the formal communication. First let us see what is a formal communication. Meaning, formal communication refers to interchange of information officially. Okay, so interchange of communication, interchange of information officially. So the formal communication means that it is a official communication. So within the framework of an organization, we know that there are like organization structures are there, and different positions are there, and the persons of different positions like a top level manager, middle level manager, lower level manager, and non-managerial employees. So this hierarchy is there, and the communication which is made through the hierarchy officially. So that is coming in the category of formal communication. Okay. So the flow of communication is controlled and is a deliberate effort. This makes it possible for the information to reach the desired place without any hindrance, at a little cost, and in a proper way. This is also known as through proper channel communication. So here, see, like if a communication is made, see for example, if the principal of the school wants to communicate something with you, okay, if any information is to be provided to you, so if any notice is given, you know that it will be written, and mostly the message will be made and a notice will be made. See for example, regarding your class, starting of the class, if principal wants to communicate something to you, so that information has been properly sent, and this information is sent to the class teachers, then class teachers are sending it to the students. Okay, so you get the message in WhatsApp, but under that it is clearly mentioned that from where this communication is coming. Okay, it is written that the principal, and the signature of the principal also is clearly mentioned there. So it shows that even if the principal signature is not there, but if it is like under that it is written principal Litiflar School Haraya, so this much data is written there. So who has made this communication and through whom it is coming, and what is the destination that we want to communicate, all these type of things are clearly mentioned in that. So we know from where it is coming, the source, and through which ways we are coming. All these things we can able to understand. So that is the way of formal communication. So the main point or a main thing that we have to understand from this one is that we can easily identify the sponsor or identify the source from where this information is coming. Okay, so that is there. It refers to the communication within an organization that is officially sanctioned. So formal communication is officially sanctioned. So proper channels are there where we are through proper channel communication. Also, it is also known as like that. Okay, so this is about the formal communication. Next we have to study about the features of formal communication. Following are the chief features of formal communication: written and oral. Formal communication can be both be written or oral. Daily works are handled through oral communication, while the policy matters require written communication. So it can be either oral or written. So we see like if the communication which I am making, okay, so this is can be oral communication, and this is also part of the formal communication. So when I am talking with you official, this is an official information which I am sharing with you. This is the class, so this is a part of the formal communication. And in this, any unnecessary discussion or type of things are not there. But imagine that, see, like after the class you are, and I have also yesterday told you that you have to reply me. Very few of you only had replied me, and I don't know whether you have received this message or not. So that, and after that, if you make a communication privately with me, so that communication can be called as a non-informal communication. But when we make a proper communication with you, see, like if authenticated message, if father is sending me and I am sending you this message to you in WhatsApp or in whatever maybe, if I am just like if a class is there and in the class if I come and tell you something that if official information is there, that is called as the formal communication. Okay, so it can be either oral or written. Okay, so sometimes we send some messages to you, maybe like if in the schools and all we are having like on the notice board a notice is displayed there, that is a written communication. And sometimes the teacher will be coming and just informing you something. Okay, so that is the oral communication. Both oral and written communication can be there in the formal communication. Then formal relations. So there is a formal relation. This communication is adopted among the employees for where formal relations have been established by the organization. The sender and the receiver have some sort of organizational relation. So see, like if you are connected with the organization, there is a formal relation. See, like the principal and the teacher, so there is a formal relation. Okay, and the class teacher and the students, or subject teacher and the students are having a formal relation. Okay, so it is not that you are like you are the student of the school and you are studying, so there is a formal way of communication is possible. Okay, so there is a formal relation is there. Okay, and there is no any like high-fi relations, isn't it? So you are having relation with your friends and you may be talking with them, so that is not the part of the formal communication. That we can be called as the informal communication. Okay, then there is a prescribed path. The communication has to pass through a definite channel while moving from one person to another. For example, to convey the feeling of a worker to the manager, the foreman's help has to be sought. Here the definite channel will be like this: worker, foreman, manager. So here there is a proper channel is there, proper path is there, so you can understand. See, like if the principal wants to communicate something to you, principal is not directly sending a message to you, but a principal will send the information to the class teacher, then class teacher will send the information to the principal. So that is the formal way of communicating. We have studied, when we studied about the principles of management, we have studied a rule called scalar chain. So here, whatever maybe the communication has to be followed, so it will be following the scalar chain. So that formal way it will be communicated. So that is the formal communication. So there is a proper path is followed there. Then organizational message. This channel is concerned with the authorized organization message only, and the personal message are out of its jurisdiction. So if any information is passed from the top level manager or the manager to the subordinate, the formal information only will be considered. So if they are meeting each other and it means outside the organization, if the manager is meeting with the subordinate and if they are talking something, that is not coming in the category of the official formal communication. So the formal communication includes only the matters which is like official matters are there. So if any in the organization, that may be within the organization or outside the organization, but whatever communication is made through proper channel and official information, proper messages are there, that only will be considered in the formal communication category. And deliberate effort. This channel of communication is not established automatically, but effort has to be made for its creation. It is decided keeping in view of the objectives of the organization. So this channel of communication is deliberately created, not just by chance. It is not. See, like you meet with, like even if you are traveling in an aeroplane and you happen to be with another person there and you are communicating with that person. So this is, you are not deliberately making that person to travel with you. You know, so by chance you met that person and you start talking with him. So that is why you make a communication there. Or imagine that you are coming into the school and on the way you meet somebody. So on the way you are talking with someone. So that is not deliberately created. But see, if a class teacher is appointed for a particular class, so that is the officially appointed by the authority or the principal or the manager or from the officers included. So there is a formal appointment. And also see, like if you are applying for like courses are there, so if when you are coming for like maths class is there or different classes are there, so you are appointed into this particular class or particular section, that will be properly managed. So there is an official way of sending it. Okay, So these are the features of communication, formal communication. Next we have to study is about the advantages of the formal communication. The formal communication has the following advantages. Maintenance of authority of the officers. So proper authority is maintained in the formal communication. Formal communication maintains constant relations among the superiors and the subordinates, as a result of which the dignity of the line supervisors is maintained. Consequently, it is convenient to control the subordinates and fix their responsibility, which is absolutely needed for effective and successful control. So this is done through the proper channel, and there is proper relationship is maintained between the managers and the subordinates. So it is very much easy for making the responsibility and controlling the activities of the organization. Then clear and effective communication. In formal communication, there is a direct contact among the managers and the subordinates. Both understand the capacity, habits, feeling, etc. of one another. Managers know as to when and under which conditions their subordinates needs information. In this way, the communication is capable of making available timely information. Hence, it is clear and effective. So, see for example, if a teacher is there or if a manager is there, so a superior officer, the top level manager will be communicating the information to the subordinates like middle level managers, and that the words that they are using, and this will be very much a little complicated ones, because they know that both of them are educated ones. So if a manager is communicating with the subordinates, they know what is the standard of the middle level manager. So based on that, they will be communicating, and the middle level manager, when they communicate with the lower level manager, they will make it into some more simple words, because the lower level managers may not be that much educated, or they may not be that much capable of understanding the things. So they will make it some more simple. And when the lower level manager communicate with the workers, then they will make it all the more simple, because if the same way the top level manager is speaking, if it is communicated to the lower level or the workers, they are not going to understand it. So the lower level managers, they know what is the capacity of the workers, or what is the understanding level of the workers. See for example, when I am taking a class to you, so you are studying in 12th class, and we can understand that what is your capacity, what is your feelings, or what is the level of understanding. Okay, so based on that I can take a class. And if I am taking this class in the 5th class, see for example, if there is a topic of communication in 5th class, if I am happening to teach there, then I cannot teach there in the same method, because their understanding level is very much low, not like yours. Do you understand? So based on that, we have to understand and speak or make the communication. Then orderly flow of information. The information has to pass through a definite route from one person to another. Hence the flow of information is systematic. So as we have already discussed, this is the flow of information is in the systematic path. There is, like as I told you, there is a scalar chain will be followed, and a proper channel is there, so we can understand that where it is started and where it is ended. So properly it is going through different proper sources. Okay, so the proper path is there for the flow of information. And easy knowledge of a source of information. So this also, as I told you in the beginning, like if you are getting a letter from the principal, under that it is clearly mentioned that it is written by the principal. Or if the class teacher is sending, then this is written there. Or if like a club in charge is sending you a message in the notice board, so under that it will be written that cultural club in charge or LCA in charge, so whatever may be, who has published this one. So the source of information is clearly mentioned in. And even if it is not there, then you can understand from the way the communication is coming, you can easily understand from where this message is coming. So if, see for example, if information is given to you from the principal, but it is not mentioned that it is from the principal, but also you can understand that this message is coming from the principal. Another information is given by the class teacher, so you can understand, even if it is class teacher, it is not written, but also you are able to understand that this information is coming from the class teacher. So the source of information can be easily identified, but there are some limitations of this one. So let us discuss about that. Overload of work. In a modern business organization, much information, many messages and other things have to be communicated. Under formal communication, they are routed through a definite channel, and this consumes much of the time of the superiors, and thus some other important works are left unattended. So overload of work, so much amount of, like if we are giving information, so if a teacher is teaching in different classes, online class has to be there, direct class has to be there, so much amount of workload will be there. Then it will become so much difficult for the person to communicate. So if the superior officer is there and if he has to communicate with the different people, all these type of things, then it will be so much heavy work will be there, and some other important works he may not get sufficient time to do the other important works. So such a way there will be some kind of issues. Then distortion of information. This method can be a hindrance in the flow of information. Sometimes the distance between the sender and the receiver is so big that the information has to pass through many hands, and by the time it reaches the receiver, it is distorted. Thus, it fails to serve its purpose. So sometimes, as I told you, like if the proper channel is to be followed, so the top level manager, middle level manager, lower level manager, worker, so like that it is following. So if what the message, and I told you that the level of communication, the top level manager will be making one type of communication, and lower level manager will be translating this one to another way. So by transferring this message to the other level, so when it is coming through different persons, so the original information may be lost. So or the purpose of the message may be not be following. If it is oral, written communication is there, then there is no kind of problems. But in oral communication, there is a chance that the proper information or the meaning of the information may be different when it comes to the lower level. Then indifferent officers. The officers do not pay much attention to the suggestions and complaints of the subordinates. In such a case, subordinates may lose his faith in the effectiveness of communication. So, like if most of the time what happens is that when the lower level managers or lower level officers are informing something to the superiors, then they may not give much attention to it. So they have given many times this information, and after that also if there is no reply from the managers, then they will lose the faith in the or confidence in the managers. So they know that even if we are informing, they are not going to take any action. So afterwards they will feel that we don't need not to make any communication with them. So such kind of a feeling may be created. So this is another problem. So these are the disadvantages of the this formal way of communication. So this is so we studied about a formal communication, the features and the advantages as well as the disadvantages. Okay, thank you so much.